Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Ask Amity Show. My name is Edmund.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Cindy.
And we are the attorneys here at Amity Law Group. As a law firm, we are known for helping families in Southern California protect their assets and making sure that everything is okay for the kids and the spouse in case something happens to us. So today we have a really fun, interesting topic to discuss with you. It's ways that you might be affecting your adult children's relationships with their significant others. And this topic comes up a lot because as attorneys, we have clients in their 50s and 60s who come to us and say, can you draft my children's estate plan sometimes, and sometimes they're prenups before they get married. And so we like to discuss ways that you might be affecting your kids' relationships with their significant others. So Jennifer, you want to start off with us?
Sure. So I think as parents, it's very natural that you feel like you want to protect your kids. And so especially with kind of how all these horror stories that you hear, right, about so-and-so's kid got divorced and then, they lost half of everything, or they have to pay alimony and whatnot. And so I think a lot of times your intent is right, and you're there, to do something that you feel like, is for the protection of your kids, which is very natural. And, that's why we do get a lot of parents coming in with these issues. But I think you need to keep in mind that you should trust your kids, trust that you've raised them in such a way that they have good judgment. And so one thing is, keep the communication open, but at the same time trust that once you've given them this suggestion or advice, that they'll ultimately make the right decision. And I think a lot of times we think, hey, this, maybe we're helping them with the down payment on the house, so you do want to protect that, and you want to make sure that if something were to happen to their marriage, then the spouse doesn't take half. So there are methods that we use that we can help with to make sure that that's protected. But at the same time, there are certain things you should stay out of and just not get involved. Speaking with your adult child, you should always do that. But in terms of communicating with your future son-in-law or daughter-in-law, maybe you should keep that to your own children, so you can voice your opinion and your advice to your own child, and then have him or her discuss that with their spouse or their future spouse. I think that usually is helpful because you don't want to start out on the wrong foot as well with your future daughter-in-law or son-in-law. You want to make sure that they're going to get married, so you're going to be a family. And so instead of making it feel like really awkward or making it seem like you have some bad feelings towards your future son-in-law or daughter-in-law, just have that discussion with your own child, and then keep it neutral with your future son-in-law or daughter-in-law. That's my advice.
I think one of the hard things that our clients or a lot of parents have to deal with when they have a new daughter-in-law or son-in-law is tradition. So tradition, especially with our clients, is a big thing, and tradition for a lot of parents, a lot of generations, is a big thing. But you want to ask yourself, is this tradition worth it to hassle over? Versus the type of angst that's going to create in the family if that had to be strictly upheld with the in-laws. So it's something you want to really give a lot of thought into, and understand that these are people that you didn't raise, so they're not completely comfortable with your family traditions, and maybe it has to do with religion, maybe it has to do with culture, whatever it is, but they weren't raised under your same roof, so they're not going to be naturally inclined to do certain things. So it's a question that everyone sort of have to ask themselves, like, is this worth it to have a potential fracture so early on in the relationship, at the expense, or at the expense of hurting this relationship, maintaining that kind of tradition at the expense of potentially hurting the relationship.
Yeah, and to add to that, setting a good example is really good, because a lot of parents, they argue in front of their kids, even when the kids are our age. Sometimes our parents might be arguing in front of us, and that sets a bad example. It creates some friction within the family, and so setting a really good example, especially in front of them, it's super important, and it gives them that sense of, I can be around my parents and have a really good time. So make sure that when you do hang out with your kids, have a good time with them, because you don't know what they're talking about, behind your back sometimes, potentially, and you don't want that friction ever between the family. So setting a good example is really important too.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, especially if they've grown and they have their own kids now and their own immediate family, you really have to just learn to let go. I mean, I think it's really hard, but at the same time, for the harmony of the entire family, you really have to start letting go and letting them make their independent decisions and judgments, because they're not babies anymore. And so it's hard to do that. I mean, I know, because I have 2 children and I can't imagine ever letting go. So, but I think that's just one of the things that I hear from other people is they learn to let go. And then at a certain age where they're retired, go enjoy your own life. Go travel, go, do whatever you want to do with your life, because now your children are adults, they can take care of themselves and you're free to enjoy your life.
Yeah. And it'll help the relationships, right? So it's maybe short-term pain for long-term gain.
Yeah, and then I think, pulling back from that is your relationships continue to evolve. You get more grandkids, additions to your family, and so remember to always maintain your estate plan. Anytime you have a change in a relationship, sometimes I have clients come in and they say, I originally wanted to give everything to my child, but now I'm not so sure, so you have that flexibility. You can
maybe
always
you
make
love
the
your
change.
grandchild more
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Than your own child.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, so we're always here for that, and anytime you need to make an estate plan or make an amendment to your estate plan, we're happy to do so.
And we also offer free consultations. So if you have any questions about estate planning, wills or trust, making sure that which kid gets what, that's really important sometimes for parents. So come on in. We're here in Rosemead. And if you have any questions about this specific topic, leave a comment below and we'll do our best to answer it for you. And until next time, we will see you later.